The day is April 7th, 2021. Many people's lives will be changed forever, as a text message was sent out that read, "Shoot up his shit," would turn a regular day into tragedy. This is the Travis Rudolph story presented by Juan Gotti. Enjoy. This football player went from being a star-studded wide receiver at Florida State to finding out his dad passed away due to senseless gun violence 3 weeks prior to the NFL draft, to then being undrafted but getting signed by the New York Giants, to later be cut due to unfortunate injuries, to then getting into a shootout with his then girlfriend's brother and friends, which led one of them to be dead and him facing murder charges. Travis star, he had offers galore from Florida State, Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn, Clemson, Duke, Florida State, and Georgia, and countless other. He decided to become a Nole. Now that he's on the Florida State campus, school fully paid for due to his athletic ability, Travis Rudolph is looking good and he's feeling nice. He then bonded a relationship with Dalvin Cook, who would be his best friend till this day, and those guys would tear up the gridiron together. Travis was raised well and he would not be afraid to show it, as one time he sat with a kid named Bo who suffered from some type of autism and really had struggles trying to make friends and be social, so he would eat lunch alone. Travis one day decided to share a slice of pizza with the kid and show him some type of hospitality that he wasn't receiving from other people in his grade level. This is one thing about Travis that you have to admire and love, that he's a guy that's going to always make sure people feels welcome, safe, and make the environment a better place. Bo Paskey's mother would then share out a message thanking Travis for sharing a slice of pizza and having lunch with her son, and that just shows you the type of person Travis really is. But unfortunately for Travis, this is where things would start to go downhill for him in his personal life. As mentioned earlier, Travis is a very family-oriented guy. He loved his mom, referred to as a mama's boy growing up, but he loved his pops just as equal. One day, while Dalvin Cook and Travis were just chilling and preparing for the NFL draft, as they both decided to forego their senior season of eligibility, Dalvin Cook's grandmother will receive a phone call from Travis Rudolph's mother. Travis sitting there a little bit confused, wondering why his mom didn't just call his phone, thinking that it's just a routine phone call, would later be determined that it was something that was going to change the life of Travis Rudolph forever. Travis would pick up the phone and he would be like, "What's up, mom? What's going on?" And with a soft tone, crackling voice, Travis Rudolph's mother said, "Put Dalvin on the phone," as she would rather tell Dalvin Cook the news and the information because she just couldn't tell it to Travis. As Dalvin would then pick up the phone and his mother would tell Dalvin what it was. And unfortunate news is that Travis's dad was shot and is now in critical condition. So after being told that news, Dalvin had to relate it back to Travis. Travis still asking, "Hey Dalvin, what's going on? What's the news?" And Dalvin replies simply, "It's your dad, man." And he's like, "What's going on? What about my dad?" And he's like, "Your dad has been shot and he's in critical condition." And Travis just, started bawling, crying, and really just did not know how to take it well, as all human beings would do the same thing if they heard that news. Now, just hearing that, you're probably wondering, like, Travis's dad must have been in the streets, he must have been in a gang, or something of that nature. Wrong. Travis's dad was working at a strip club because he owned his own landscaping and maintenance business, and at this particular strip club they needed some AC work done. So Travis's dad was working inside the building and he was in the storage closet, and one of the employees there, for whatever reason, decided that they needed to move their gun. So in the midst of the employee moving their gun, he discharges the weapon and a bullet goes through the wall, and unfortunately, in the most unluckiest way, the bullet hits Travis's father. The bullet hit his father in his neck, and once he got to the hospital, he saw his dad in critical condition, and they found out that he would be paralyzed from the neck down. So with his dad being in excruciating amounts of pain, they decided to pull the plug on his father, and once Travis and his family made the decision, it broke him even more. Travis ran out the room crying after that happened, and it just was a start of very unfortunate events for Mr. Travis Rudolph. So after receiving that news, Travis still had to prepare himself for the NFL draft because it was the same exact week. See, Travis and his dad were huge sports fans growing up, and his dad loved watching the NFL draft. And being from Florida, it's always a ton of Florida guys in the NFL draft, so his dad will always cheer extra loud for them. Now, Travis, after his dad passed away, would not look at the draft the same because he wasn't there to share that moment with Travis, and it would definitely take a toll on him. But in an effort to cheer up Travis, Bo Paskey's mother decided to bring Bo to the draft party that Travis was having, and his family would watch and sit and cheer for Dalvin Cook as he got drafted in the second round by the Minnesota Vikings. But after that, it would go silent, as every round after that, Travis had to watch his name not be called until the end of the draft, where he ultimately would be an undrafted free agent. Travis was signed with the New York Giants, and with him signing with the NYG, he would finally achieve his dream of making it to an NFL team. Not quite what he pictured as far as the route he had to take as far as going undrafted. Obviously, everybody has that dream and goal of being a first, second round pick, and it didn't quite pan out for Travis in that way, but hey, at the end of the day, he still made it on someone's roster. After a slew of injuries that hit the New York Giants that year, Travis would be called up to the active roster week 7, and he would have a really solid day, making 3 receptions for 32 yards. Nothing insane, but obviously great experience for Travis Rudolph. He would remain on the active roster for the rest of the 2017 season, but then the New York Giants would cut him at the end of the year. He would be picked up by the Miami Dolphins, but then he would tear his ACL in the first practice, which would put him out of ball for initially 2 years. He had to recover that whole entire year, and then he had to regain interest. Not many teams was interested in Travis Rudolph, so in 2020 he decided to finally sign a contract with the Canadian Football League. Just as Travis thought he could finally get his career back on track, the world had other plans, as in 2020 we all remember the pandemic would hit and the Canadian Football League would be shut down. So the following year, when the league picks back up, Travis was released from his contract because he was charged with murder, first-degree murder, and 3 counts of attempted murder for the events that happened on April 7th, 2021. So what happened on April 7th, 2021, you may ask? Travis was in a relationship with a girl by the name of Dominique. Dominique went through Travis's phone and found out that Travis was talking to another woman. So Dominique, visibly upset, she calls the woman on FaceTime, and after that whole debacle went down, she threw Travis's phone at him and apparently hit him over the head with a metal trophy. Dominique, she denies these claims and says she picked up the trophy but never hit him. She stormed through the house, however, and found his PlayStation 4 and destroyed it. So part of this whole fight was caught on a ring camera, and you could see Dominique hitting on Travis. You don't see Travis hitting her back or anything. Travis did say, however, he tried to restrain her and she ended up falling down, but he did not hit her or try to harm her in any way. So after Dominique calmed down, she would leave, but in the midst of her leaving, she would send out a text message that would turn this whole situation into a super tragedy. She would send out a message to her brother that read, "Please go shoot his shit up." Travis would testify in court that she made the same threat verbally. As she drove away, she quote unquote screamed, "My brother and them coming to kill you." So fast forward later that night, after she said that her brothers were coming to kill Travis, they would pull up to his house 12 a.m. after midnight. But they wouldn't just drive to his house, pull up in a car, pull up in the driveway. They parked down the street, and 4 dudes walked up to Travis's house, banging loudly on his door. So now that Travis is alerted, he comes to the door and he says, "What's up?" But before he can say what's up, he said what's, and then a guy sucker punched him. Now Travis is on the ground and he has his firearm in his hand, and after that the guys, they started to jump him, kick him, and punch him. Now Travis didn't go to them initially with his gun. He had it on standby once he saw one of the guys flash a gun from his waistband after another guy said, "You F with the wrong girl, you finna die today." So after he said that to Travis, he saw that Travis had a gun on him. Then he said to Travis, "You got it, and then ran down the street. So for whatever reason, Travis's brother was down the street in the same direction as the guys, and you already know how that planned out. The guys saw Travis's brother and they started to jump him. So after saying that, Travis ran down the street trying to help his brother. According to Travis, he said his brother defended for himself to his best of his ability before he arrived down the street to help him fight him off. So the guys apparently got into their car and they drove away. Well, you think the story would be over, right? No, it continues as Travis described them coming back, and he said he saw 2 guys inside that car flashing firearms, and that's when he decided to up his and start shooting in their direction. He fired 39 rounds at the guys. Travis said he did not want to shoot anybody that day. He didn't have no intentions, but once he saw that they had the firearms pointing in the directions of him and his brother, he made a decision to fire, because if he didn't, they probably was going to do it first. So it was all in a save our lives kind of matter. So after the shots rang out, the guys would retreat and Travis would go back in the direction of his home. And Travis, not knowing he hit anybody, just doing it in a defense mechanism and just trying to get them away from his home, he found out some news later that was shocking. So after Travis was shooting at the guys, not with any intention to kill, but just in a detention to get him away from his home and protect his brother and his mom, who also was out there, he ended up killing one of the guys. So again, Travis didn't know that. His sister actually had to tell him that, yes, someone was deceased and the police was there to arrest him. The police had a warrant for Travis's arrest, and he then faced a murder and 3 accounts of attempted murder. Travis would be jailed for a year and a day before he was released, and he was found not guilty on all 4 charges. So Travis would spend a year and a day in jail before he was found not guilty on all charges. After really reviewing this whole case and situation, I truly believe that it was in a self-defense mechanism. I don't think Travis genuinely had any intentions to kill these guys. Travis isn't even that kind of guy, and you can see the kind of things he did in his life that backed up that point. Travis just did what anybody else would do, in a sense of standing your ground and trying to defend you and your family. And no, I'm not supporting gun violence. I don't think gun violence is ever the right answer. But at the end of the day, Travis was doing what he had to do to protect his family. Do I wish it played out in a different scenario where nobody was harmed and everybody could just go about their day? Yes, but unfortunately, that's not how it planned out. My heart goes out to all of the families that were involved in this situation, especially the one that lost his life. This is senseless violence that really started over nothing. A simple argument where 2 other people that were involved could have just went their separate ways, but it got deeper than that, and someone lost their life again and somebody was jailed. Travis is found not guilty once again, and now he's a free man and can live his life. Travis Rudolph went from being a college football star to losing his father to a fluky, senseless violence situation to making it to the pros but being cut due to injuries and countless other situations, to having an argument with his girlfriend that would later claim the life of a person, and him being jailed. This is the Travis Rudolph story, and it's been your boy Juan Gotti. Please leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload content like this to the channel. We're on the road to 6,000 subscribers, so please help me get there. See you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.
Travis Rudolph, defendant, verdict. We, the jury, find as follows. As to count 1, we find the defendant not guilty. As to count 2, we find the defendant not guilty. As to count 3, we find the defendant not guilty. As to count 4, we find the defendant not guilty.